Ashley Eckstein has finally opened up about what it was like to receive so much hate when the character of Ahsoka was introduced back in 2008. She said, quote, "It's been quite the journey. From the very beginning when she was hated, I sobbed into my cheesecake, but then I took a day to have a pity party. And as a fan of the Clone Wars, as a Star Wars fan more generally, and as someone who was young when this came out, so the target demographic, this breaks my heart to hear. Because she means a lot to so many of us, she's given so much to this franchise. I have so much respect for Ashley. I'm just happy that for the most part fans have come around." But in positive Star Wars news, the Haslab Ghost has been announced. This ship, which was already so popular, is going to become even more so come August. Not to mention the Lego set as well. The Ahsoka show is now officially 1 month away, and as we approach the much anticipated Star Wars series, we've had a variety of interviews, lots of new looks, new reveals through Lego, some posters, some concept art, and even some props. But a big question held by many fans of Star Wars Rebels is how similar are some of these characters going to be compared to the animated versions? Well, Natasha Bordizzo, our live-action Sabine Wren, has answered this question for herself. In a new interview with SFX magazine, the actress who's going to depict the very creative Mandalorian in live action said she avoided copying the animated version deliberately. She tried to steer well clear of the idea that she's got to copy Tia Sakar's version. She wants to make the live action depiction unique, the next story of Sabine's journey, not trying to copy word for word, action for action the past. She's gone through a few changes, and her identity as a Mandalorian, and who knows, possibly as a Force sensitive, as was teased, and I did cover this in a previous video, but she's not going to be exactly the same as she was in Star Wars Rebels, and we shouldn't expect that either. Evidently there are going to be visual differences, animation is a very different kind of medium, you can achieve more fluid things with it. But here is a quote. She says, "I love Tia Sakar's Sabine. I love the energy, the sarcasm, and playfulness that really made Sabine Sabine. But obviously it's a delicate balance because I never want to try to copy someone. I want to be inspired by the energy they put into a character and then make the role my own." And fundamentally what she's really saying here is that of course, the Sabine Wren we know in Star Wars Rebels is the same character as this one. They're exactly the same, but Dave is evolving these characters, and we shouldn't hold expectations of a character based on things she did in animated form. The way facial expressions translate, the way she's going to appear on screen, her swagger, her mannerisms, and when you're doing physical stunt work, there are going to be some differences there. You're working with real life humans. But rest assured, fellow Star Wars Rebels fans, because in the very same interview, Natasha says she watched everything, and she means everything. Maybe even Forces of Destiny, you never know. And why is this so important? Well, I did bring this up before when I mentioned the episode with the Darksaber and the visualization, the physical statue of Tar Vizsla. But there is one episode that sets up Leia appearing in the Ahsoka show, which has been rumoured, and I did cover this last week. In the 8th episode of Season 1, Bounty of Trouble, in Gorel City, Princess Leia is walking through an octagon, accompanied by 2 stormtrooper escorts. As they pass the doorway, the Mandalorian and Rebel operative Sabine Wren is lying in wait. Sabine distracts the stormtroopers with a yellow paint bomb and then kidnaps Leia by lassoing her. Before the guards realize that Sabine has kidnapped the princess, she shuts the gate. The stormtroopers then call for reinforcements. Inside, Sabine introduces herself. They try to escape, and eventually they do, after being cornered by the one and only IG-88. At the end of the episode, Leia tells Sabine, "I hope one day we can fight together." Now at the time of this episode, Leia was still a senator. The Battle of Endor was a while away. But now the Battle of Endor is over, Mandalorians are friends of the New Republic, maybe Mon Mothma and Leia, who are very important to the government, will call upon Sabine. Just a theory. Now it's worth noting she also appeared in Star Wars Rebels, and you might argue that the Forces of Destiny episode, which came out a year after the Star Wars Rebels episode, was foreshadowing their missions together, but they take place in the same year, so while Leia and Sabine did have some history, I do believe if this rumour is true, it's gonna pay off in Ahsoka. And so speaking of characters who might appear, with the Ahsoka show just around the corner, Star Wars fans have been talking about important characters in her life. At this stage, Sabine, in their search for their friend Ezra, Hera Syndulla and the rest of the surviving Ghost crew as well. But we've also talked about the Skywalkers, Anakin's Force Ghost, the memories she shares with him, both tragic and happy. But what about Padme? I saw her mentioned in a couple of comments on recent Ahsoka videos that I published. Fans are wondering if there's a chance we do see Padme in flashbacks because she was important to both the lives of Ahsoka and of course her husband Anakin. The mother of Luke and Leia, the former Queen of Naboo and and later senator, played a significant role in Ahsoka's life during the Clone Wars, and now thanks to Tales of the Jedi, we know Ahsoka was present at a funeral. On multiple occasions, Padmé served as a mentor and friend to Ahsoka, offering guidance and support during her time as a Jedi. Padmé's unwavering dedication to justice, diplomacy, and the pursuit of peace had a profound impact on Ahsoka's ideals and principles. Ahsoka admired Padmé's courage, intelligence, and compassion, and these qualities helped shape Ahsoka's own values as she navigated the challenges of the Clone Wars at the time. And now with Padmé gone, I imagine that was a loss that stayed with Ahsoka for many years, up until this day during the New Republic. Even when Ahsoka was framed and accused of crimes she didn't commit, Padmé stood by Ahsoka's side, advocating for her innocence and providing support, and Dave Filoni confirmed what many fans suspected: Ahsoka knew about their relationship. She knew they were married. And now that she knows Luke Skywalker by the time of the Ahsoka show, that could be a reason why Ahsoka considers Luke family, or should I say, a close family friend. The most obvious connection, of course, is the fact that Anakin was Ahsoka's master, but this might be another one. Padmé did a lot for Ahsoka, so could we hear mention or see allusions and flashbacks to Padmé in the Ahsoka show? Well, it all lies with Dave Filoni, and there's good evidence to suggest he's been wanting to do this for a long time. Taika Waititi might have forgotten that Natalie Portman was in Star Wars, but Dave never did. Whether they actually filmed new scenes with Natalie, or just like in the Kenobi show used footage that already existed from the prequels, it would be amazing if she appeared in some way. And with rumours we're getting Clone Wars flashbacks, aside from the obvious Anakin and Obi-Wan, Padmé would be another candidate to appear in these. After all, Dave Filoni always wanted to do more with Padmé's Clone Wars arc. And just a side note, but also related to this, there is a deleted Clone Wars scene that involves the Bad Batch and what they think of Padmé Amidala. As Captain Rex and Anakin are going back to the Havoc Marauder after a mission with the Bad Batch, Anakin notices a rather provocative image of Padmé on the side of the ship, and the Aurebesh reads, "Good to be bad." Hunter makes a snarky joke, saying they regularly check her out on the holoscans, and then Wrecker says, "Yeah, she can negotiate with me anytime." As you can imagine, Anakin is less than happy. This scene was deleted, but Dave Filoni's had many ideas for Padmé for years. Could he incorporate these in the form of a flashback? I think it's a bit unlikely, but you never know. In a list of characters likely to appear in a Clone Wars callback, I think Padmé would be high up there. Again, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, this is just a fan theory. Surprise cameos and appearances are great, but they're not what makes the story great, so none of this is likely or even necessary, it's just pure fan speculation, which we love to do on the channel. I would say the most important character trait Padmé taught Ahsoka was to trust her instincts, to trust herself. And imagine the first time Ahsoka interacts with Anakin's Force Ghost. He says, "Hey Snips." What would be the first thing Ahsoka says to him? What do they catch up on? Is what happened to Padmé going to be mentioned? In either case, as a prequels fan, as a fan who grew up watching Padmé on the screen, I would love to see more of Natalie. And so now, my dear friends, in other Star Wars news, Cobb Vanth, the Marshal himself, Timothy Olyphant, has shared his feelings on working on The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. There is no question we missed him in Season 3, and for a while there we thought he might appear. But lo and behold, Robo-Cobb, as I like to call him, did not. Reflecting on his Star Wars experience with Rolling Stone, he said the following: "I've enjoyed that. I don't know if it's a cash grab or I'm just getting lazy, but I'm okay playing the greatest hits right now. I don't know guys, I think we really need to see him again, and if Boba and Fennec ever leave Tatooine, he would be a fantastic caretaker daimyo." Now we also have some more news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. Star Wars Outlaws, the upcoming 2024 game. In the game it's now been revealed that players can take missions from Jabba the Hutt, as well as travel to the Mos Eisley Cantina. They're doing all sorts of connections to the OT. Are you excited for this? Because I certainly am. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, may the Force be with you, always.